Is that normal?
What am I supposed to be seeing?
You don't see the audience coming down?
The what?
The audience.
The awning?
Yeah, right here. Come on, I'll show you. Look at my shoe.
You mean where it's like separate a little bit?
No, not there. Right there. That one?
Here's what you got to do.
I can walk with the phone, but they want to
Yeah,
You
got
have
it.
to come and fix it.
Yeah, because you know what? That's the kind of thing that a landlord's going to want to fix. What you want to keep your eye on is, so on this side of the house upstairs, now, it's cold,
Yeah.
and it's actually supposed to be fairly dry.
Okay.
So, but if he doesn't come in and fix it, what you want to pay attention to is if that creating any leaking, like right along there.
So would it leak down here too?
Probably not.
Oh, good. Thank God.
Probably not. I can't guarantee it. But what happened is the.
Because I got my wires.
See, I was just looking at the side. I didn't know you meant like around.
Oh yeah, that's what I said when you get to the
No,
end.
but when I saw that, I was like, yikes. No, that isn't good. It looks like there was a big, long, like piece of lumber that was holding up the whole gutter and the drain, and it just came off, man. Like old. It's old. It just deteriorated.
And it's starting to fall apart in the back, and then there's like black cable wires back there. I don't think it's mine. I hope not. Because there's a dish or direct TV thing on top of it.
Yeah, that's probably old, you know, so I wouldn't worry about that. It's pretty, but you know, the only thing you'd have to worry, good thing is it like spring or summer or fall, because if it was raining, that's what I'd be really worried. But with it being cold like this, if there's any precipitation, it's probably going to be snow instead of rain, which would be a good thing. But here's the thing that is like, on the positive side of something like that, that's the kind of repair that a landlord definitely wants to make. Because that's the kind of thing where if he lets it go and water starts leaking, he's going to turn a medium-sized repair job into a big repair job for himself at his own expense.
Because I tried to Aubrey and Emily yesterday.
Yeah, so if Aubrey already called, I'd be very surprised if he wasn't out sometime before the end of this week.
See, I don't know, because when the doorknob's not working and then my light bulb were out, it took them like 2-3 weeks just to come and fix it.
Here's the difference. Does that affect him?
No, but it affects me when the doorknobs weren't working.
That's a yes or no question.
People keep kicking my door.
It's a yes or no question. Does that affect him?
No.
Okay. Is that going to affect him?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. That's the difference.
Okay.
Your light bulb, I'll get to it when I get to it. Your doorknob, I'll get to it, Hey man, you know, your gutter just fell off. Oh my God, that could cost me bigger money.
And he's already putting money into that place over there.
Right. And the last thing he needs, I mean, he's going to look at that and say, holy crap, man. And that's going to cost him, you know, he's probably going to cost him at least $500 to fix that. Yeah, I mean, unless he does it himself. I don't know what kind of, if he's a handyman or if he has a contractor. If he's a contractor, I mean, that's going to be at least $500. I'm just ballpark number. Mm-hmm. If he doesn't fix it, he's looking at 2, 3, 4 times that much.
So what happens if it keeps falling off and he doesn't come fix it right away?
Not a problem. Only because they're probably going to have to take off the whole thing anyways. Any part that hasn't, in fact, now that I think about it, that could be as much as a $1,500, $2,000 fix. He ain't going to be happy about it, but it's nobody's fault. But it's whoever put it up last time, whoever put that gutter up, did it on the cheap, and that's why you don't do things like that on the cheap.
And I think he should have checked it and make sure everything was fine.
Well, in all fairness,
well,
that's the kind of thing, you know, you're going to look at. You're not going to know there's a problem until it happens.
Yeah. I think it happened the day that you guys were here. When When,
Boy, I didn't do it.
No.
Why are you blaming me for it?
No. I'm talking about that Monday when Holly came that morning and then you came that afternoon. Because me and Holly were sitting here talking, and out of nowhere we just heard a big ass noise. And I thought it was the train because the train was coming too. So I thought it was the train. Because they be crashing down there. I don't know how they do it, but they be crashing down there. But the last time they crashed, they slammed on the brakes really loud, and it sounded like a big ass bang, like something blew up when it did it down there. But then we kept on hearing noises, and so I'm thinking it was that.
Could be.
Because I never noticed it. My ex told me about it. He's seen it.
Because like I said, he's probably going to have to take that whole thing down and rebuild it.
Not
Put a
bad.
whole new one up.
All right, now we can go back to what you were telling me.
All right.
Diet.
If you're interested in modifying, if your goal is to lose weight, here's the thing that when my pal was first time, because I never had a goal of losing weight, but I know plenty of people that do. And I always talk to my friend Mark. Because I always pick his head for tips like this.
Yeah.
Because he's really good. And ever since he told me this, of course, Mark's a good guy, knows what he's doing, but remember, it doesn't mean I don't double check and triple check on things.
Yes.
Okay.
You always want to get experts.
I want to get the experts. Not that Mark isn't, but like I always say, if I hear it or read it once, I go, that's interesting. If I hear it a second time, it's like, there must be something to it. But when I start seeing the same information 3, 4, 5 times and consistently, then it's like, okay, I'm convinced now.
Yeah.
So this is something I've read about and I'm convinced, absolutely convinced on. And I'm saying all this because when I tell you this, you're going to say that doesn't make any sense. So when it comes to losing weight, what's way better than eating one meal a day is eating, ready for this, 4 to 5 times a day. Exactly. Doesn't that sound crazy? Doesn't that sound like
I don't think you gain more weight, wouldn't it?
Well, there's a catch to it.
Okay.
Okay? And this is where it starts to make perfect sense. So it all has to do with physiology, how the body works.
Yes.
Okay? So, remember how I've always told you your brain's #1 job is to keep you safe?
Yeah.
Okay. So, and remember how I always say, well, our brain hasn't changed a whole lot since caveman days?
Yes.
Okay. So your brain doesn't know that there's food in the refrigerator or, the supermarket is just a few blocks away or whatever. Your brain doesn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay? What your brain knows is how often you eat.
Okay.
And what your brain automatically does is it regulates, manages your your metabolism.
Okay.
Your body's your metabolism is how fast your body burns calories when you're just not doing anything.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's your resting metabolism means So if I just lounge around all day on Saturday, I really don't do much. Doesn't mean I haven't burned any calories. I have, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the question is how much. So how many? And that's what resting metabolism is. If you're just sitting around, well, how fast does your body burn through calories? Now, if I get up and I go to the gym and I work out at the gym for an hour and a half, that's going to burn a lot of calories.
Yes.
But that's not resting metabolism. Resting metabolism, if I'm just sitting around today, I'm still going to burn calories. Not nearly as much as if I go to the gym, but I'm still going to burn calories.
So like if you lay in bed or something, that works.
Yeah, I'm still burning calories, but not nearly as many
Okay.
as if I'm up and moving around, and not nearly as many compared to that if I go to the gym and exercise, for an hour and a half. Okay. So so your brain doesn't know your grocery situation. Okay?
Yeah.
Your brain doesn't know, well, I'm just going to eat one meal a day in order to lose weight. Because what you're thinking is, well, look, if I eat one meal a day, that means I'm only getting so many calories, and that's the goal, eat less calories.
Yes.
Here's the problem. And again, you got to think back to caveman days. Because in caveman days, and it's still today, your brain doesn't know when your next meal is coming.
Yeah.
Right? You understand?
Right. Yes.
Okay. So when you eat one meal a day, your brain is thinking, uh-oh, there's not a whole lot of food available. And what your brain is going to automatically do is slow down your metabolism. And when it slows down metabolism, the other thing your brain does is it's going to put as much calories that you do take in and put them into your fat cells.
Okay.
So that if you only eat one meal today, if you only eat one meal tomorrow, if you only eat one meal the next day, your brain's thinking, I got to be prepared for that day or 2 days or 3 days in a row where there is no food. So that's why it slows the metabolism down, and whatever it can, it's going to store in your fat cells, because your fat cells will release what your body needs to burn much more slowly.
Okay.
Okay? So that's why when you only eat one meal a day, it slows your metabolism down. It hangs on to those calories for as long as it can. And that's why when people go to these kind of diets, they really don't work all that well, on the one hand. On the other hand, here's the other problem with eating one meal a day. Well, now you're not getting proper nutrition. So that's going to make you tired. And that's going to make you feel sluggish. And that's going to affect your mood. So when you're talking about having anxiety, having depression, you don't want, this slow down metabolism, and it turns you into this low energy person, which means, your mood's going to suffer right along with your physical state. Okay? Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right. But how does eating 4 or 5 times a day, isn't that one extreme to the other? I mean, that sounds insane. Okay, let's see what we're talking about. 4 or 5 times a day does not mean, well, I'm going to wake up this morning and eat, a stack of pancakes. And then right before lunch, I'm going to have, 3 or 4 cheeseburgers. And then later in the afternoon, I'm going to have, 3 or 4 roast beef sandwiches. And then for dinner, I'm going to have a big steak and mashed potatoes. And then right before I go to bed, I'm going to polish off a hoagie. Doesn't mean that. Okay?
That's way too much.
That's way too much. So when I say 4 or 5 meals a day, we're not talking about stuff like that.
Okay.
So 4 or 5 meals a day means this. Like if Mark was here, he'd tell you, well, look, for breakfast, you want to have like a bowl of oatmeal and a banana. Mm-hmm. And then mid-morning, you want to have like some of those crackers right there. Mm-hmm. And then at lunchtime, maybe you want to make like a turkey sandwich and, some fruit. And then for dinner, you might want to have like some fish or chicken and wild rice. And, before you go to bed, maybe another small snack like some unbuttered popcorn.
Okay.
Okay? Well, that's a lot more food than what you're eating now, but here's the thing. I don't know what your dinners are like every time you eat, but the reason of, if one meal a day slows down your metabolism, mm-hmm. what's 4 or 5 meals a day going to do you think is going to do to your metabolism?
Go fast?
Absolutely. Because when your brain senses it's getting fed, you're feeding yourself 4 times a day, 5 times a day, it's not in starvation mode anymore.
Okay.
It knows food is coming early and it's coming often each and every day. So it's going to so your metabolism is going to burn. Your metabolism is going to operate much higher. Okay? And your body is going to stop storing excess calories by way of fat cells. It's just going to let it burn. You're just going to burn it off.
Okay.
So in the long run, eating like 4 modest meals a day actually is going to help someone lose weight more than one meal. Not only be more effective in increasing the chances they're going to lose weight compared to that 1 meal a day, but you're going to feel better. You're going to feel more energy. You're going to feel less. You're not going to feel so tired, and less feeling less tired because you have more energy means your mood's going to improve. There's no downside to it.
Yeah, see, I'm supposed to eat like a lot of like some like iron stuff in my foods and stuff. Like I'm supposed to eat iron things.
Who told you to do that?
Oh, St. Clair Hospital because I'm anemic.
Right. So
ever since I lost the twins, I became anemic.
Yes.
Because the blood, when I lost a lot of blood from losing the twins, I lost a lot of blood and they almost lost me. But they gave me some, because see, I forget what it is, but I have O positive or O negative blood type.
Right.
So my blood type is rare. I have the rare one.
Right, me too. I got the same one.
I don't know if it's the O positive or the O negative. It's whatever the one is rare.
Right,
Whatever
I got the same
one.
kind. That's the kind where you can be a universal donor.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody can use your blood.
Yeah. But when they didn't have any blood from me that matches mine. So they gave me some random blood type. And 2 bags of it and my body rejected it. So now I became anemic from it.
Yeah, so, you know.
But see, I don't like some of the stuff that they want me to eat with iron. I don't like their shit.
Like what?
Because I'm a picky eater.
What do they tell you? Like spinach?
Mm-hmm. Like green stuff, fish.
Yeah.
I don't eat that shit.
Well, there's other stuff too. Like I think there's certain kind of.
I like bananas.
Like,
that
yeah,
helps.
bananas are good. I think like there's nuts, certain kind of nuts like almonds or
Yeah, I can't do
walnuts, cashews. You can't eat anything hard like that.
No, I don't got no teeth.
Are you gonna get any?
No. Because they want me to pay metal teeth. Get metal in my mouth to hold them. Because my dog's decaying over here. And they try to fit me for regular dentures, but it won't fit.
They want to do implants.
Yeah.
You don't want to do that.
No, because I need metal. And it costs $2,000 for the up and the bottom.
Yeah.
My insurance don't pay for it.
Yeah. Implants are the way to go, though.
So I'm just saying, fuck it, I'm used to it. Because I had a lot of good teeth. But my teeth, my brother, when I was younger, my brother bashed me in my mouth when I was a baseball bat, when I was like a teenager. So, like, my teeth was getting really bad because he bashed my mouth with a baseball bat.
Right.
So they keep on having problems. I just told them to pull all my teeth out because I got tired of dealing with the problems. Because eventually they said it will start hurting. The other ones, like the good ones, if I left them there, it would still hurt.
Right.
So I just said to hell with it, just pull them all out. They're like, well, we're not supposed to. I'm like, I don't care, pull them out.
Yeah. Well, you know, if you can never.
I gotta get regular dentures, but they won't let me because my jaw over here is decaying.
It won't hold. Yeah.
Yeah, because it won't
Yeah,
hold it.
but the implants though. I mean, if you ever find a way to do it, that's the way to go.
I miss out a lot of food that I left.
Well, that's
Corn on the
why-
cob, everything.
That's why you can say I'm used to the way I am, but I'm sure if you had implants, you would definitely
enjoy
not
my food
see-
again.
You definitely would be happy you did.
That's why when I talk sometimes, my words don't come out right anymore.
Well, that's understandable.
I
That's right. Well, that's understandable. I mean, that's
People are
part
like,
of
why are you stuttering? I ain't stuttering, motherfucker. I just can't speak it anymore. It's not my fault.
Well, it's something to think about. I mean, if you ever run into some kind of, like back payment or I mean, you're going to be getting that COVID money, I would think.
I'm hoping.
You should. So, I mean...
I haven't received the first or the second one.
Did you tell Aubrey that?
Mm-hmm. I don't think
Did you do anything to try to look into that?
Well, no, I don't think I get it because my income's kind of messed up.
No, you get it. You just have to...
I never filed
jump
taxes.
through some... I know, but what happened with your Social Security? Are you on SSI or SSDI? SSI?
No, just SSI. I'm not
So
on
what
the-
happened to it?
I get paid on the first, not the third.
But you get it?
Not now. I was.
When did it stop?
It's almost been a year.
Well, see, that's why you didn't get the COVID money, because I know plenty of people on SSI, and
I might get it when it starts back up again, when I start getting my money again.
well, you have to ask for it.
Yeah.
So
I gotta apply for it. But I have to probably most likely have to wait till I get back on SSI.
Well, why did it stop? Do you know? Did it stop for a reason?
Yeah, it stopped for a reason because I lied about my ex living with me, and when he was working, so I didn't have no proof that that he was living with me. But they found out because he used my address, and that when he was getting paid from the job, they seen it through my income that there was someone living with me, and he was using my address. So I didn't report it. So it's kind of my fault because I didn't report it.
Okay, well I understand that, and believe me,
So
you wouldn't have been the first. But
I had to get a letter. I had to get a letter stating that he moved out. Because remember when I called the cops and they evicted him?
Right.
So.
But my question is, so did you get a letter from them saying that you've been suspended, or did you get a letter from them explaining that they considered that they gave you overpayments?
No. They gave me a letter in the mail state that my income is $0. I don't get no more until I could show proof. And the proof was that my ex doesn't live with me anymore, and he had to write me a letter. He said he did it, so I'm just waiting for them to mail me the actual papers. They mailed it to my old address, and then the post office ended up holding my mail, like the rest of my mail was on hold. They just sent it back to SSI. So now I'm just waiting for my caseworker to get back with me. She keeps giving me the runaround, and then she was away on vacation for a while. Then I just called her on Friday. I told Aubrey. I spoke to the agency. It's one of her bosses, and they said that the person was working that day for her, and they told me that they were going to have her call me sometime this week or next week, so we could start it up and so I can have the papers because I got to resign because it's been a year now almost, so I have to renew again. So when my renewal come up again, and then I can set it all up, and then they can mail me the stupid paperwork, then I mail it off back to them, which would be nice if they could just fax it to someone, but they won't do it.
No, they won't.
It would be easier if they just fax it.
It would, but they have very particular rules.
Yeah,
because it's federal government, and it has to do with money, and they have to be extremely straight up with how they conduct their business.
So yeah,
you're not allowed to forward mail. It says right on the envelope, do not forward, return to sender.
Yeah, that's what they did. That's why they didn't move it over here, because if they would have brought it over here, everything would have been done and I would have been on it.
Right, but they're not allowed to.
So now I gotta wait, because that year's been up.
Alright.
So now I have to renew, so I have to renew over again. So when I get these papers, after I talk to my caseworker, she's going to give me new papers so I can re-sign them again, and then ship them off, and then hopefully I get my new card, and then...
Yeah, so what we'll have to see though is, are they just going to resume your payments? Like, okay, starting next month you'll get your checks again, or I wonder if they might give you some kind of back payment to when you were initially eligible for. Like, for example, when you first moved in here. So if they give you some kind of back payment, and I don't know if you will at this point, but if you got some kind of COVID back payment along with it, boy, if there was $2,000 in there, I'd strongly consider getting those implants. Because once you get those implants,
well, I need $4,000. 2 for up here, then 2 down here.
Oh,
it's
2,000 for, so it's 4,000 altogether.
Yeah, Pitt Dental. That's how much Pitt Dental charge you. And they said that's anywhere. If you go anywhere, that's how much they'll charge you.
But the thing about Pitt Dental is they may be willing to work out a payment plan.
Yeah, that's.
So you don't have to pay all up front.
Because I went to the local dentist, and they recommend I go to Pitt.
Yeah.
And then Pitt, they did an X-ray on my jaw, and they say it's decaying. It's all over here. It's all decaying. Mm-hmm. You can feel it, because this is feeling straight, but this is like decaying away.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know why my jaw is decaying. I can't remember why they said it was, but my jaw is decaying, so I don't know.
All right.
It kind of sucks. But.
Yeah, it does.
But I'm used to it. I tell people, you don't like how I talk, then don't look at me.
Well,
I'm used to it. I used to be embarrassed, but I'm not anymore.
Yeah, but I would think again,
it's been a couple of years now.
The big game changer in terms of quality of life, though, is being able to eat whatever you want to eat. That's the biggest value.
Yeah, I'll eat. I can eat because my gums are hard, so I can't eat now. Like It took me a while, because before I had to drink like soups.
Right.
I only got, not even no noodles, I couldn't eat that stuff. I only had to drink liquids, like juices, soups without no stuff inside of it. That shit was sucked. Because it took a while for this to heal.
So you can eat more, but you can't eat everything.
Yeah, like really, really hard stuff I can't eat.
All right.
I can suck on it, but I can't eat it.
I understand. All right, so now what? Now what do you want to talk about?
Oh, the bipolar thing. No, not the bipolar, what's that? Borderline personality disorder.
All right. So,
I want to know more about that.
who told you about this?
Dr.
Jerzak? So she said, listen here, Elizabeth. I think you got a borderline personality disorder.
No. I told her what's been going on with me and Al. Because she asked me how was everything going with me and my friend. And I told her what was going on. Because I told her it was a major big thing with me. How my mood changes and stuff. And then I told her how my mood's been changing up and down. Like I'm happy, sad, crying. You know, and I lay in bed. Out of nowhere, I'll be like listening to music or just watching TV and I'll be crying. Because last night I cried 4 times for no apparent reason. I just cried. Don't know why, but I did. That's why I didn't join my friend's party yesterday. I was going to, but I didn't. I cried 4 times in a row last night. Then I finally cried myself to sleep. I'm embarrassed to do that, but you know, I don't like admitting it, but I need to be truthful. And then I just told her how I've been feeling, how I've been sad and depressed, angry, hurt, you know, having all these types of mood swings. And, you know, I told her I lay in bed because, you know, I lose interest in things. Then I overthink, my racing thoughts. I think about them 24/7. I try not to. I really do. I try to distract myself from it, but he keeps popping in my head. You know, because I want him back with my friend. And then I sit there and I text him on Instagram. He ignores me sometimes, but he'll respond sometimes. But mostly he ignores me. And then I've just been telling her about the medicine situation. She told me I have to keep taking my medicine if I want to, but I don't know. But she said that she diagnosed, because I told her what Emily said. You know, Emily thought maybe I might have bipolar. And she said, no, the symptoms that you're telling me, it's more like borderline, damn, I keep forgetting how to say the damn thing. Borderline personality disorder. So she's like, that's what we're diagnosing you with, and we're putting it on your profile. Like my records or whatever.
Right, your evaluation.
Yeah, so that's what they're diagnosing you with. And she said it's because sensitive to rejection and seeing things black and white, good or bad, and attachment issues. So that's what I got now.
That's what you got now?
Yep.
Man.
So I got bipolar. No, why did I keep saying bipolar? Okay, I got borderline personality disorder. I have PTSD, depression, anxiety, anger issues, trust issues, and attachment issues. So I got 7 things wrong with me now.
So, I mean, what number are you trying to hit?
I don't know. Maybe 8, because I might have borderline too. I mean bipolar.
Oh, boy.
But they said this is not treatable. I mean, I have to see DPT therapists to manage mood swings. So I have to lose Holly.
Why you gotta lose Holly?
Because I can't have 2 therapists.
No?
I don't think so. Aubrey said I can't.
No, you can't have 2 different therapists.
Because Holly doesn't do the
DBT?
DPT, yeah. They said that's what I need to focus on more. To
Do you
get
know what
better.
DBT is?
No, Emily tried to explain it to me, but I really couldn't understand it.
Well, what's your best understanding of how she tried to explain it to you?
It's something, well, I don't know. It's more like it helps me focus on my mood swings, like how to work on with my depression, anxiety, then the borderline personality disorder, from what Holly does, she said it works more on with my grief, the loss of my kids, what my ex did to me, without having my children in my life, and what my family has done to me. But with this one, this is supposed to make me feel better, but it won't go away, but it's supposed to help ease a little bit things. So I don't know. And sometimes and then I also told, I didn't tell Dr. Jerzak because I was kind of scared to tell her, so I didn't tell her. But I told Aubrey and I told Emily, like, sometimes when I talk to you guys, I can't keep on remembering things. And Emily's like, well, that's kind of hard for you to keep on remembering things because you always got Al in your head. You'd be forgetting because you're focusing on more Al than anybody else. Because like sometimes when my friends talk to me sometimes, like L2, he'll be telling me things and like I remember it, but I just don't remember it at the moment. So I don't know.
Well,
like I'm having memory loss.
Well, it's hard to say if...
But I'm not... Now, I don't want to make you disappointed, George. Okay, but I have to be honest because I didn't tell Emily at first, but I did tell Aubrey. And Emily was here when I told. Because Aubrey could tell when I'm telling a fib. I don't lie, but I tell little fibs.
Right.
Because I don't want to be upfront with everybody all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But if I would have kept on going along, Emily didn't catch on, so I told her, yeah, I was doing it and stuff. But Aubrey, she knows when I'm telling fibs. She can tell how I react by things. But I'm not on medication. I have the pills, but I'm not on it.
How come?
I don't like it how it makes me cloudy. Like, it's not me.
Did you tell Dr. Jerzak that? Oh, you said you didn't tell her that.
No.
Well,
I kind of kept it from her, like how I told her, like I told you before. When you said, oh, well, that's why they put you on that medicine because you didn't tell them that you were on the Prozac, and this is why you're feeling this way. She can't tell, she can't help you if she don't know what it is. So I did it again. I didn't tell her.
Well, and that's the thing. See?
I mean, nobody's making me take the meds.
No,
I'm doing it
make you
myself.
take the meds. No one's here to make
I put
you take
myself
the meds.
on it, but I mean, I don't know.
Right. And when I ask you why aren't you taking it, it's like, well, if you're having look, you just have to make choices about what's best for you. Okay? So the thing about antidepressants is, well, I gave you all those handouts about depression.
Yeah.
We've talked a lot about depression. We can watch a video about depression. And the thing is, when you say, well, last night, I cried 4 times, but for no reason.
Well, no. It was a reason why I was crying.
All right.
I know why I was crying.
Well, but here's the thing, though.
I was crying over Al.
Okay. Because what I was going to say is, when somebody has clinical depression, they will just start crying. And
But
they'll say
the
for
last
no
time, I don't know
reason.
why I cried. The 3 times I cried over Al, but the
Right.
4th one, I don't know why.
And that's why it's important to be clear about that. Not so much, especially when you're talking to the doctor, because there's a big difference between I'm crying because because of something that's specific that's happening. Well, that's normal. But for someone to just have crying spells that just come over me, I wasn't thinking about anything, I wasn't doing anything, I don't have anything really bad going on, I just started crying. That's different. That's a very different kind of a situation.
I was laying in bed watching Parker. What's his name? Jason Statham and Jennifer Lopez. I was laying in bed watching that, and then I just started crying out of nowhere. And then I was watching, I don't know his name, but some people call him the crazy Mexican. The guy plays Mexican shows. Let me see.
Well, it's okay. I don't even know who the person is, but
I forget his name, but people call him like the crazy Mexican.
Okay.
Because he's crazy. He acts crazy on the TV show.
Uh-huh.
I was watching that too, and I was starting to cry on air. And the movies weren't even sad. It didn't make me cry. I don't know what really made me cry. No, sometimes I did cry because of Al. Okay? Because Al was texting me on some things last night, and like he was sending me clips, and I wanted him to text me or do video chat, and he didn't. So I started crying because I was upset. But then the other time, I don't know why I was crying. It just came out of nowhere. The last one, it made me put me to sleep when I cried.
Well, that's the difference between clinical depression and someone who's just crying because they're upset about something. So, you know.
I was having both.
Right. So that's why antidepressant medication can help, because it could help reduce those kind of episodes. But the other thing, like I said, I mean, it could also change the way you see things and think about things and react to things. But the thing is that, you know, if the Prozac makes you feel cloudy, you know, that's a side effect. But that's why there's Dr. Jerzak, and you know, she's got a list. She's got 3 or 4 different kind of antidepressants she can prescribe for you, and that's why there are a number of antidepressants. But you know, if there's like 6 or 7 antidepressants, it's like, well, I tried one and it clouded my thinking. I don't want to try that anymore.
Well, see what
a different one you may have a very different reaction to.
Yeah, see, I know like the first medicine they put me on, that made me sick in all types of ways. I had a whole bunch of side effects hitting me all at once. And it constantly made me sleepy and everything. It made me feel like I was a freaking zombie. Okay, but this medicine, it's kind of good, but it's not good. It's like my thinking is gone. Like I don't think anything.
Yeah, and that's the kind of thing that's important to tell Dr. Jerzak, to be honest with her, because, look, at the end of the day, if she tries you on 5 or 6 different antidepressants and none of them work, then it's like, well, I guess this class of medication just isn't for me. And then you can decide, well, I'll just have to try to make the best I can without it. But at least you know that you've exhausted everything that was available, because you know, from what you've told me and from what I've seen, there were times when you, especially with the Prozac, when at first it seemed to be, and you told me, that it was working really well.
Yeah, but then it started making me feel cloudy when I was getting used to it.
Right. So the thing is, you know, when you saw what it was like when it was,
I had no side effects.
Right. So, but before you had the side effects, you saw how helpful it was.
Yeah.
So the goal is there another medication that can make you feel just as good and make you function just as well, that you don't eventually develop those kind of side effects? Would you want a medication that worked like that?
Yeah.
Well, then you keep trying. You try the next one, the next one, and the next one. But if none of them work, well, at least you know that I tried every one they had and none of them worked.
What I want to try to do is get that medical marijuana weed. I mean, even if it's not smoking the weed, hey, Aubrey said they got pills.
Yeah, but that's not what that's for.
It helps with depression and anxiety.
That's not what medical marijuana is prescribed for. You can't get a prescription for medical marijuana because it's for my mood. You can get a prescription.
I can get it for being depression and anxiety. I already looked into it.
So. Well, you may be able to, but it's another thing to get a doctor to write that prescription.
Yeah, I gotta go see their actual doctor at the clinic, wherever they do the weed.
That's a little. That's going to be a little sketchy getting that. I know anyone that I've known who've gotten prescription for medical marijuana, it was for pain. Or like nausea because they're getting some kind of like cancer treatments or something that creates, you know, bad nausea.
Right, okay. No, because I looked into it when I called it, that they said that they do it for depression.
Yeah, but...
No,
but you know, that might be one of those things where, but only after you've tried so many antidepressants first. I don't know any doc that says, oh, you're depressed, here, why don't you go smoke some pot?
Well, if not, I'll just buy it off the street.
Well,
hey, because I'm being honest.
Well, I know you're being honest.
I just don't like how the medicine makes people feel. I want to be on medicine to help me, but not make me feel different. Like where I can't think on my own anymore, where it's like the medicine's controlling me, making me feel weird and shit. PTSD.
What about it?
That's how you get on it for mental health. I thought it was depression. It's PTSD. So I have it. I can get on it. Hey, I got that symptom.
Yeah, I didn't think you were going to get it for depression.
I said the wrong thing.
I've never known.
See, these are the symptoms that you can get it for.
The disorders.
You got
see, appetite. Yeah, Alzheimer's. Well, that's for different. Appetite loss. Yeah, well, smoking pot increases appetite. Cancer, not because you have cancer, but because cancer treatments can create a lot of nausea.
Yeah.
Crohn's disease, same thing. That's an intestinal disorder.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of nausea with that. Diseases affecting the immune system, eating disorders. Yeah, because what people do, you want to get these people an appetite. Epilepsy, glaucoma, mental health conditions like schizophrenia and post-traumatic stress disorder.
See, I got that one.
Yeah, that's very shaky.
But I got that one.
I'll get back to that. Multiple sclerosis, muscle spasm, nausea. See,
I don't have none of them besides PTSD.
Pain, seizures, wasting syndrome. That's another where the goal is to increase appetite. See, schizophrenia. I don't know any psychiatrist that would prescribe pot for schizophrenia.
Oh, I don't have that one.
But post-traumatic stress disorder. That's for people that have severe post-traumatic stress disorder.
Yeah, don't I?
Well, no. These are what I mean by severe.
Okay, you can talk.
Is these are people that have best example to think of severe post-traumatic stress disorder is when you hear about people coming back from the service, and they can't sleep at night because they have not nightmares, night terrors.
Why did Aubrey tell me I can get on it?
Well, I don't know. I'm just saying what I've seen people get on it for. And the only thing I've ever seen anybody get on medical marijuana is for medical issues. I've never known any psychiatrist to prescribe it for any kind of a mental health disorder.
Oh, no. I have to go to actual wherever you go get the marijuana weed, wherever you gotta go get tested, you gotta go see their doctor. That's what Aubrey said. And you gotta pay for the medical cards $200 or $300. And even Emily said it too. And then you gotta go in there and buy the weed or the pills.
And I bet if you mention that to Dr. Jers, actually say, you ain't run that past me. Is my guess. I doubt that she would endorse it. And the thing is look, you want to just smoke pot to get high, or do you want something to help you with your depression?
Help me with my depression?
Well, then,
It makes me feel better when I smoke weed. It makes me happy. It makes me mellow.
Well,
I don't cry. I don't feel sad or nothing.
Okay, well,
And that's the honest truth.
Well, see, pot is one of those kind of drugs that doesn't affect everybody the same. I know people that say, oh, first time I smoked pot, I got really, really paranoid, and I almost flipped out. I'll never do that again.
Oh, yeah, people told me about that.
Yeah.
They're like, what are you talking about? It makes you happy and mellow. They don't be doing that to me. I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah,
Works just fine
some
for
people
me.
smoke pot, they just get really wacky and silly and, act stupid and do stupid things. Some people smoke pot, next thing you know, they can't stop eating. Again, that's why all those, disorders that where the goal is to increase appetite.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? But yeah, if you're saying, well, when I smoke pot, puts me in a pleasant mood, puts me in a good mood, well, but like a lot of things, there's an upside that comes with a downside.
Mm-hmm.
So while pot can, if you're the type of person that, oh yeah, man, because look, pot can make people really mellow. It's like this one comedian said, because he's a big pot smoker. He's like in his 60s. He's smoked pot all his life, all his adult life. And he's not ashamed to admit it. He doesn't brag about it, but he's not ashamed to admit it.
Yeah.
And he makes reference to it every once in a while. But as a joke, he said, well, everyone's against legalizing pot, but hey, you ever hear about someone smoking a joint and walking in and shooting up a bar? No. And it's like, yeah. Pot doesn't make you violent like alcohol might.
Yeah.
Like crack might. Like heroin can make you, could really create problems. Pot, you know, yeah, a lot of people that smoke pot, it just makes them mellow, makes them cheerful, makes them, you know, giddy, and increases their sense of humor, increases their appetite too. Okay, that's the upside to pot. So where's the downside? There's no downside, there is a downside. The problem with pot is, number one, it's like smoking cigarettes. It has the same effect on your lungs. Now, yeah, people, if someone's smoking 2-3 packs a day, that's doing way more damage in your lungs than smoking a joint a day. Yeah, I mean, come on. But that's not to say it does no damage, but yeah, it still does some. But the bigger problem with pot from a psychological, number two, you can become psychologically dependent on it.
I can smoke it and stop it anytime I want.
Well, okay, but some people can't.
I'm not hooked to it.
Well, what I mean by psychologically dependent isn't physically dependent. Like where you have withdrawal symptoms, like alcoholics that get the DTs and stuff like that. I'm not talking about physical addiction. It's psychological addiction, meaning, you know, when I smoke pot, I feel pleasant, I feel calm, I feel relaxed, I'm in a good mood. But psychologically addicted means, well, okay, what happens when you go, if you're used to smoking it all the time, because you have it, what happens if your supply dries up? What happens if you, for whatever reason, can't have it for a week or 2 weeks? Then all of a sudden, you know, here's your mood when you're smoking pot, then you go on to medical marijuana, now it's up like here. Then you lose it, are you back to baseline? No, you're below it. You feel worse without it than you did when you didn't have it before you had it all the time.
Because see, Shelly got me some, okay? And I got it for on the 31st of December. And I smoked it. And I ran out like maybe the second week of January. And then I haven't had it since. But my mood had changed. But when I was on the weed, my mood was skyrocketing.
Right, so, but see what I'm saying is...
Now it's down.
So what I'm saying is, you know, look, right now your mood is like this.
Yeah.
And then when you get to pot, it's like that, but then you only have it for a little bit and then you're back like that again.
Yeah.
Okay. What I'm saying, a lot of studies show, this is what psychological dependence means. So here you are right here, and then you get it, but you don't stop, you just keep using it.
Yeah.
Not for a couple weeks, for a couple months, and now for 6 months, and now for 8 months. Okay, this is where you started. Now, for whatever reason, you can't have it for 2-3 months. You're going to go not only back to where you were,
all the way down.
You're going to dip below where you were.
Yeah.
See, that's the risk number one. There is a psychological dependency because not having it is like, oh man, you know, and it's psychological, it's not physical. It's like, oh man, I wish I had my pod. Oh, nothing's fun anymore. I can't relax. I can't be calm. I'm cranky now. And it's psychological because you can talk yourself into feeling actually worse than you need to, depending on who you are. Okay.
Yep.
And the other problem with pot is it could really affect motivation. Like, yeah, you're calm, you're relaxed, you're pleasant. You know,
I enjoy my stuff. I
enjoy
play my
yourself. Enjoy your games.
I play with the friends I never played with before.
But it's like, yeah, I don't feel like doing that laundry. I ain't gonna wash those dishes. I ain't gonna clean up around here. I just want to play my game and have fun with my friends.
That's how some people are.
Yeah, so there's upside, there's downside.
That's true.
All right. So I gotta leave at 4 o'clock, but it's only 10 to 3.
Okay.
So we got plenty of time. So, today you submitted an order for 2 different types of articles.
Yes. Anxiety and borderline personality disorder.
Well,
right?
What I did instead was I brought articles on anxiety and borderline personality disorder.
That's what I just said.
All right. So if it's okay with you, with your kind permission, I'd like to go use your restroom.
Oh yeah, you can have that. You can use it.
So which which one of these do you want to review? We only got time to review one of them.
The borderline one.
All right.
I have to wait to do the exciting next week.
All right. Do you want the handout, or do you want me to hang on to it?
I want both of them. I can read it.
You got a coupon, a buy one get one free coupon. Otherwise, you have the coupon buy one.
No,
get
you
one
can give it
free.
to me for free.
If you had a coupon, I'd give you, buy one get one free. Without the coupon.
Yeah, I have to give you some crackers.
All right. I'll for today only. I'll cut you a break and not insist on the coupon.
Okay.
All right, but listen to me. Start looking at, here's the how to cope with personality disorder,
Okay.
and then here's the one about anxiety disorders.
Alright.
So while I'm in the restroom, you start looking at the personality disorders, and that's what I'll explain to you for the rest of our time.
Alright.
See, your bathroom light works again.
Yeah, the other one don't work.
All right.
He didn't hook it up right.
So, you done with the article? Ready for your test?
No, it's kind of hard. You gotta explain to me. I don't understand it.
It is kind of hard.
I don't know what all this type of disability stuff is. I don't know.
All right.
It's kind of difficult. I don't even understand what half of it means.
Yeah, it's hard to find. Borderline personality disorders, these are pretty complicated disorders, so it's hard to find articles that explain it in real simple terms, because it's not a simple disorder. And personality disorder, see, there's different types.
So which one do I have then?
Well, let's go to types of personality disorder.
Okay.
So there's A, B, and C, where it says A, B, cluster A,
Yeah.
B, C. Okay. The first one, well, first of all, let me just tell you this. So when Dr. Jerzak says, well, these are untreatable, what does that mean to you? She says, oh, you can't treat these.
I mean, I'll be like this forever.
No. It's not what that means.
So I don't mean.
That's why I want to explain it to you. What borderline what she means by it's untreatable, what she means by that,
There's no medication for it.
There's no medication for it. It doesn't mean it can't be treated through, that's what DBT is for. So you can learn, DBT is basically coping skills.
Okay.
But specific to the kind of problems and the kind of challenges that your personality disorder creates for you. So it's coping skills, but it's very specific to people that have personality disorder. So so it's treatable through counseling. It's not treatable through medication. There's nothing that Dr. Jerzak can prescribe you, and pot isn't going to fix it either.
Nope.
There's nothing that a doctor can prescribe you that in and of itself is going to take care of it. Okay? All right. So that's when she says it's not treatable, that's what that means.
Okay.
But when she says I want you to get DBT, DBT is the therapy of choice for people with borderline personality disorder.
Okay.
So let's just go through these three clusters.
Right.
Clusters means, well, when she says, well, based on what you're telling me. So look here. Here's what A says. Includes odd, bizarre, and eccentric. Eccentric, that means odd. Eccentric means odd behavior. Paranoid personality disorder. These are people that think there's something always up. Schizoid personality disorder. Schizotypal personality disorder. These are cluster A disorders. So, people that fall under this are a lot of those people that are like these QAnon types. Okay. Schizotypal means these are people, odd, bizarre, eccentric behavior, paranoid. These are people like those QAnon people. I mean, a lot of these QAnon people. I mean, there's like a few people that were Congress, that were elected as congresspersons. So it's not that they're stupid. They can hold jobs, have families, own homes, drive cars, get elected to Congress. So these are bright, capable people. Yet somehow they have these weird ideas. I mean, here's someone who, look at all these people, all these QAnons, a lot of them, have jobs and careers, but, the Democrats, they're really, this collection of people, it's really their own cult, and they're all into child pedophilia, sexually abusing kids. It's a crime ring. And Hillary Clinton and a few other, and these couple billionaires, they're in charge of it. And the Republicans are protecting them all from, the authorities. And Donald Trump, he was placed on earth by God to break it up, and he's going to do that. And it's like, man, that's like crazy.
That is crazy.
But they're not locked up in Western Psych. I mean, this person's running for Congress and winning. It's like, wow. But you can't give them medicine. That ain't going to help them.
All
right, but that's type cluster A. That's not you.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's not me.
That's not you. All right. Look at cluster B.
Okay.
Refers to dramatic and erratic personality disorders. Antisocial personality disorder. These are people that don't like people. These antisocial personality disorder are like like criminals who commit violent crime.
Yeah.
Not like your, shoplifters.
Yeah.
Or, look at persons, this person, look, they're leaving for vacation. I know who they are, leaving for vacation. Let's break in their house while they're gone. Okay? Well, that ain't too cool, but antisocial, these are people that say, you can't trust anybody, everybody sucks, I don't have any friends, I don't want any friends, can't trust anybody. Yikes, antisocial personality disorder.
That's how I...
Borderline personality disorder, we'll get back to that. Histrionic personality disorder, these are people that are drama queens. Like all the time.
They break
all the time.
Like Donald Trump.
Well, no, Donald Trump's the next one. Narcissistic personality disorder. That's
like Donald Trump, right?
No, histrionic. These are people that always fly into panics. It's snowing. Oh my God, it always snows when I don't want it to. Man, it's January. I mean, well, why are you so surprised it snowed? Yeah, but I didn't want it to snow today. It's like, calm down. No, I'm not going to calm down.
Oh, okay, I know what you're getting at now.
Man,
Right?
this person's histrionic. Take it easy. I'm going to take it easy. Let's stop talking and take it easy.
I get what you're saying.
All right, that's histrionic.
All right.
All right. Now, cluster C. These involve anxious and fearful personality disorder. So, an avoidant personality disorder. Avoidant personality disorder, these are people who are not just shy, but painfully shy. I mean, these are the kind of people that, this person will move in like next door. And, if they go out on the porch to get the mail and they see you on your porch, they'll just, and then run right inside. They'll just go like that. Their eyes will get real big, they'll see you and they'll just run right inside.
It's like, do you ever watch a movie called Mr. Monk?
Well, you mean that TV show?
It's like his brother. He don't go nowhere.
Okay, well, I don't know it that well, but that's what an avoidant personality. These are people that just avoid contact. That they just get really nervous around people, really fearful around people, so they do their best to avoid people. Okay, avoidant personality. That's what avoid me adds in avoid. They avoid people.
Yeah.
They don't understand people. They're afraid of people. They think people are gonna, might be mean to them or hurt them. But they just get really freaked out when they're around people. So these are people that would like a house like that because this is pretty isolated. This is pretty alone. And but as soon as she sees someone, she's just going to turn around. She may be halfway to the mailbox, see you, and she'll just turn around and go back in the house and leave the mail there until she'll keep peering out the window. When you come back in the house, then she'll go out and get her mail.
That's stupid, but I get it.
All right. Now, a dependent personality disorder. That's someone who always feels like they need somebody else. And we're talking about adults. We're not talking about kids. We're talking about adults. A dependent personality disorder is someone who always feels like I need someone to take care of me. Okay. I mean, so dependent personality disorder is like, they'll start on a job and, they just want to follow people around. Okay. So if someone's like working at the grocery store and they're supposed to be, like go out and get the shopping carts.
Yeah.
Like out in the parking lot.
Yeah, collect buggies.
Yeah, you go out and collect the buggies. Okay, yeah, I will. But then they just want to hang out with the cashiers. I don't want you to hang out here. Well, she might need my help, so I thought I'd stand here in case she needed my help. No, Joey, I need you to go out and collect the buggies. Okay, I will. I'm leaving. I'll tell you what. Just give me a minute. I got to tie my shoe. I'll be leaving. Then he just stays there.
Yeah.
And he doesn't want to be by himself.
Yes.
Okay. Or a lot of with couples, dependent personality disorders like, let's just it could be let's say there's a married couple. One of them gets up and goes to work. Okay, call me when you get to work. Call me when you get ready to go to lunch. Call me when you get back from lunch, before you start working again. Call me before you leave work to come home. Call me when you're halfway home and you're stopped at a red light. It's like, man, dependent personality disorder. They just always need to know that their partner.
That's how I would book my ex.
That's a dependent personality disorder. So this borderline personality disorder, let's see if that's really what it is.
Okay.
And then obsessive compulsive disorder, that's Mr. Monk, the OCD.
Yeah.
All right? So, but here's the thing about borderline personality disorder. Okay? So, so after I met you the first time, and I was telling Emily about you, I told Emily, you know what? I don't know this. It wasn't on your referral form to us, your diagnosis. I said, you know what? My guess is Elizabeth is going to have a borderline personality disorder.
Okay. And I do.
Well, aren't you going to ask me why?
Why?
Do I think that?
I'm sorry. Why? Yeah, why?
Say, George, why did you think that? You met me once. You just said it wasn't on my referral form. What made you think I had a borderline personality disorder?
Oh, you didn't. You just tell me something. Sitting there waiting.
So I'm waiting for you to ask me that.
Okay, so George, why did you think that?
Well, since you asked. All right. Here's the thing about borderline personality disorder, in particular, because I've worked with a lot of people with borderline personality disorder. So I have a lot of experience with people with borderline personality disorders, and they're not all the same.
Yeah.
Okay, but they all start out the same.
Okay.
Okay, so borderline personality disorder is something that's more created than like type 1 diabetes, where you're born with it.
Yeah.
Okay? The reason why I suspected you may well have a borderline personality had everything to do with your history. Okay. Because the classic picture of someone who develops a borderline personality disorder is one of the main themes, and this is what you struggle with Al, is abandonment.
Yeah.
You know, he hasn't talked to me in a day, he hasn't talked to me in 2 days. And we were talking last week, well, Elizabeth, how many times has this happened before? 6? Yeah, but I'm afraid this time might be different.
Yep.
So it's this fear of he's going to bail out on me.
Yeah.
It's a fear of abandonment.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big marker of borderline personality disorder. But why? Where does that come from? Well, from history. Not from, on July 4th, 1776, we declared our independence from England. Not that kind of history.
Yeah.
Not the War of 1812 occurred in 1812. Not that kind of history, but a person's history.
Yeah.
So the marker of borderline personality disorder is that early experience of abandonment. Where was your father growing up?
I was 5. He died from a heart attack.
Okay. To a child, that's abandonment.
Okay.
Okay? Meaning, where's my dad? It doesn't matter why he's gone, especially to a 5-year-old, it's just that he's gone.
Yeah, I don't know. That's not bother me.
That's abandonment. Okay? I mean, I'm not saying he should be charged with abandonment. What a horrible dad. I'm just talking about the way a kid experiences that. And a kid doesn't say, oh, I've been abandoned by my dad. No, a kid, like you, it's like, you look around, the other kids, the majority of these kids have 2 parents.
I only have 1, yeah.
I only had 1, so I'm short a parent. So I'm supposed to have 2, but I only got 1.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a sense of, someone who's supposed to be here isn't.
Yeah.
Now as a kid, but he passed away, that's not his fault. Okay, well that makes it cool. Now, it's not like that. I'm supposed to have 2 parents, I only got 1, so I'm 1 short. Someone who's supposed to be here isn't. That's abandonment. What was your relationship like with your mom?
Not good. I know, I was involved with CY when I was a kid, but my mom did something to me, but I don't know what.
Right. So
they won't tell me.
So I'm supposed to have a father, but he's not here. I don't know where he is. He's supposed to be here, but he's not. That's abandoned.
Yeah.
So in other words, like if you're a sergeant in the army, and if you tell the soldier, okay, guard this, guard the latrines, and the soldier wanders off, it's like he abandoned his post.
Yep.
He's not where he's supposed to be. That's what abandonment means.
Okay.
Someone who's supposed to be here, but who isn't. Father abandoned him. He's supposed to be here, but he isn't. Mom, well, she too was supposed to be here, but she was kind of here, but more not here than here.
Yeah.
So she was if she didn't completely abandon me, she certainly was AWOL.
Yes.
No. So when
I'm here, but I'm not paying attention to you, girl.
Right. So I'm here, but don't bother me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. That's what it is.
Yeah, I'm here, but leave me alone.
It's sad, but it is.
I'm not here for you. Just beat it.
Mm-hmm.
Beat it, kid. You bothered. All right, that's abandonment.
And then at abandonment, my mom passed away a couple years ago, so
But
that's
the important thing is what happens to a person as a child.
Yeah.
So as a child, Dad was supposed to be here. He's abandoned his post. That's abandonment. Mom, she is, especially with Dad not here, she's supposed to be pulling double duty. She's not even pulling quarter duty.
No.
So that's abandoning her post.
Mm-hmm.
So that is the recipe for a person to develop a borderline personality disorder. Because what you learn early on, okay, is People that are supposed to take care of you, people that you need to take care of you, and people that you want to take care of you. What you learn early on is you better not count on it.
Yep.
So, but, you know, some people, that makes them hardened and uber resilient and extremely self-sufficient and highly independent.
Yeah.
And very tough. But they too are going to have issues, challenges bonding with people later in adulthood.
Yeah.
Because they just don't trust.
Yep.
They're not going to trust that you're going to be around them. So these people have a hard time falling in love, because falling in love means I'm making a commitment, emotional commitment, not only to you, but expecting that in return.
Yeah.
I'm setting myself up for the same kind of hurt I had as a kid that I learned long ago was a big mistake. So they always have a hard time connecting in intimate relationships, in bonded relationships. They have a hard time because they don't want to get burned again.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? I mean, you know, it's like I told you, when I was a kid and that dog jumped on me, it took a lot of doing to lose my fear of dogs, because once you get hurt, you don't want that to happen again.
That's true.
Okay? So, but dogs are one thing, people are another. And, you know, one dog that was in the neighborhood is one thing, my dad and then my mom, you know, that's way more than that. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So some people make them hardened and tough and independent, but other people, they don't turn out that way. They turn out feeling like, you know, I was never loved as a kid, and their mission in life is, it's kind of like this unspoken, outside of their awareness goal, that I'm going to find someone, finally, who's going to love me,
Mm-hmm.
unconditionally, meaning no strings attached, day in, day out.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what a partner would be. That's what a spouse would be. Yeah, but like post-traumatic stress disorder, but they tend to be extremely hypersensitive to any signs that something might be going wrong.
Yeah.
Like, I messaged Al, he didn't get back to me, and then this sense of panic creeps in.
That's true.
What if he's not coming back?
Yep.
What if he doesn't like me anymore? What if he's setting me up for the big goodbye? What if he, and then it might be, well, what if something happened to him? What if he like got struck by lightning? Or abducted by aliens and he's not coming back?
Or something happened in Puerto Rico with the floods and
Or, you know, yeah, there was a, you know,
I worry about that all the time.
a volcano in Puerto Rico that dumped lava on him and now he disintegrated. I mean, you know, yeah, anything could happen.
I'm worried about that.
So that's the marker of a borderline personality disorder. The thing is problems in close relationships. The problems because the goal in a close relationship is to find a replacement.
Yeah.
Better late than never for the two people that were supposed to provide unconditional love, both of whom failed. And those two people would have been mom and dad.
Yeah.
So a lot of people with borderline personality disorder, that becomes, without them realizing it, but that becomes their mission in life. I need to find that unconditional love, you know, from a person to make up for what I didn't get. But there's always this hair trigger sense of panic whenever a person with borderline disorder attaches themselves to somebody without this somebody understanding what's at stake here, what this person's hoping to get out of this, that isn't a normal, healthy adult relationship. And that's why there's going to be struggles. That's why God keeps saying with Al. You know, from day one I kept telling you, well look, Elizabeth, here's the problem. What you want from him is nowhere near what he wants back from you.
Exactly.
You know, you're not even on the same page. You're not even in the same book.
Nope.
And you may not even be in the same library.
You said the same library.
I mean, you know, you're looking for this mom and dad figure all rolled up into one, and, you know, well, I'm just looking for someone who, you know, is willing to go along sometimes with believing that I'm a professional wrestler. It's not connecting. It's not going like that. It's going like this.
Yeah.
But more importantly for you, that's where the stress is. I mean, oh my God, you know, I can't believe he didn't call me. I can't believe I texted him. He didn't get back to me. And it's like, man, you know.
Hold on 1 second. Where's my phone?
Call from wireless caller.
Uh-oh, wireless is calling you.
Hello? Alright, I'll meet you right down. Good. Can you give me like 2 minutes and we can finish it?
Yeah, I'm going to start just, you know, take my, I mean, we got,
Well, less than 2 minutes. It'll be less than 2 minutes.
now take your time. We got 40 minutes to go. Wait, what time is it? Oh, it's 3, yeah, we got 45 minutes. I'm just going to slowly get started on the computer.
Okay,
But no,
we'll
take
finish
your
it off.
time. Yeah, we got plenty of time. Don't worry about it. Take your
All
time.
right.
Don't worry.
I can sit there and wait. Hey, my breath.
Okay, so I did a lot of talking.
Yes.
Well, take a minute to catch your breath.
That's a lot of stuff to heal a lot of.
But while you're catching your breath, what I want you to think about is if you have any questions at this point. You don't have to ask yet. Just collect your thoughts, catch your breath. But while you're catching your breath, think about if you have any questions so far.
Let me see.
And a question could start with these 3 words. Can you explain?
So you're giving me hints?
No. I mean, you know, you may have like a question just off the top of your head, or if there's something that we've read so far, you say, well, I'm following what you're saying, except can you explain this a little bit more?
Well, I do want to ask a question,
Okay.
but also I want you to explain.
I can do both.
All right. No.
Same price.
Same price. Okay. Now, like, how you said about it being abandonment. Now, could that be what I did with my ex and saved all that abuse because I didn't want to be abandoned by him?
Well,
And then when I met Al, it took me a while to trust him. But then when I trusted him, I started feeling attached to him and all that stuff. And now I feel abandoned by him.
well, they're not the same.
Okay.
Okay, I would say yes to Al. Your relationship with Al is the kind of relationship that I've seen. You know, now statistically, although there's reasons why this could be, but statistically more females are diagnosed with bipolar disorder than men.
Okay.
Okay?
You mean
So-
borderline?
I mean borderline. Statistics would say that the majority of people diagnosed with borderline personality disorder are females versus males. Now, that may not so much be an actual fact as much as, again, it's who's diagnosed with it. Men might have borderline personality, and I've worked with men that had borderline personality disorder, but men may not present the same kind of complaints as a female would. So a male may have borderline personality disorder, but not present those kind of complaints, so they don't get diagnosed with it.
Mm-hmm.
But the relationship and the challenges that you have in your relationship with L are pretty typical of people with borderline personality disorder. Now, the thing about your ex, and this is what I said about the dependent personality disorder, okay? Because dependent personality disorder, like you said, see what you told me, and let me just repeat back what you told me, just so I have the right understanding. You told me that you went from your mom's home, where she took care of
Me.
you
To a certain point.
to a certain point, but not emotionally, but otherwise.
Yes.
Like she paid the bills in the house and did the shopping and yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
Her abandonment was emotional.
Yes.
Okay. But you went from her to your ex and he just took care of everything.
Well, no. I went from my mom to my mom's best friend at work. She felt bad for how my mom was treating me.
Okay?
So she took me in. And then that's when I met my ex-boyfriend. And then that's when he took everything. He took control of my whole entire life.
Okay. So you went from mom to this friend, to the mom's friend, and mom's friend took care of you.
Yeah, not. She gave me a place to stay and have a roof over my head, and pretty much that's it.
Let me put it. Have you ever been independent and where you completely took care of yourself?
When I moved here, or when my like a year I've been by
Right.
myself, a year.
Right. But before that,
No.
right. So someone with a dependent personality disorder, see that, is someone just like that. You know, it's like, they're in their 20s, in their 30s. And, I don't want to have to take care of me, man. That's the last thing I want to do. So that's dependent. They depend on other people to take care of them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So what happened between you and your ex, may not have been so much a feature of your borderline personality disorder as much as, just being, feeling very vulnerable and that I need someone to take care of me. And even though because there's parallels, your mom was psychologically neglectful, abusive, and so was your ex.
Yes.
But you trade that in but physically I'm being taken care of.
Yeah.
The house, the bills,
Not being
the
alone.
responsibilities, utilities. If there's a problem, he talks to the landlord. I just got to stay in the house and make sure it doesn't fall down or anything. So you know what I mean.
I paid some of the bills.
But he was in charge.
He was in charge of everything.
He was in charge of everything.
He controlled me, and I didn't like it.
Well,
And when I didn't do what he wanted, that's when he whooped my ass.
let me ask you this, and you know what? Let me remind you before you answer this question that I don't know
It's a good question.
is a fair answer.
Yes.
All right. So you're saying, well, you know, yeah, he took care of everything, but I wasn't always happy with it. Well, but there you were. Meaning, but it was a choice you made to be with him.
Yes.
So there's a big difference with having disagreements and having complaints, you know, like when I was a kid, I had complained about what my mom made for dinner, but not to the point where I ever suggested, maybe I should start doing all the cooking around here.
Yeah.
So I would complain, but I wasn't going to change it.
Your food sucks, but I'll still eat it.
Yeah. Well, your food sucks. Well, then you can do all the cooking. Well, I didn't say I wanted to do that.
No, I just want better food.
So that's the thing about when you say, well, yeah, but there were things he did that I didn't like. There were things he did that I was upset about. Yeah, but not to the point where you said, hey, I'm in charge now.
No, I never got to that part. I was scared.
Right. And again, I'm not saying, that's
I was
your own
weak.
fault.
I will admit, I was weak around my ex.
Well, but just so you understand what a personality disorder is.
Okay.
Weak means, yeah, but still better him than me doing this.
Yeah.
As much as I'm complaining, he still would do a better job than me. It's kind of like, yeah, Ben Roethlisberger really sucked that first quarter against the Cleveland Browns when they fell behind by 4 touchdowns. But I'm going to stop short of saying that I could have done better.
Yeah. That's true.
You stump it. Okay, here, you play quarterback. Nah, thanks. Never mind. You stay in there, man. I don't want the 280-pound, defensive lineman, taking a running start and plowing right into me. That's okay. You do it.
I think the second quarterback was better than Ben.
All right. But neither are better than me.
Yes.
So I may complain, but I'm not about to say, you know what, maybe I should be handling this. So when you say weak, what it really is, yeah, but you know what? I got my complaints and I'm not happy about this. Now if I complain, it's like I'll just get hit. So that would be stupid. So I'll just have to keep my mouth shut. But you never offer to take over.
No, because I offered to do the bills and stuff, but other than that, he did pretty much all the work.
All right. But it's a little bit, but the dynamics, the nature of your relationship with your ex, I see is very different than what you have with L. With L, this is where a borderline personality disorder can really get in the way. With your husband, with your ex, it was much more about that dependent personality disorder.
Yes.
I'm just not capable of taking care of myself. I need an adult in the house to kind of manage the household affairs, like a parent would. I don't meet that job description. I can't do all that stuff. Problem is, the person I hired for that job really sucks. Because he's me.
Yes.
That was your only problem.
Yes.
I hired someone to run the household, except turns out he was a big,
douchebag.
Yeah, he was pretty mean about it.
Yes.
I should have used a psychological inventory when I interviewed. It was a bad hire. But he was really there to run the household.
Well, look, see, he was good. For a while, but then everything changed. When I got pregnant, that's when everything changed.
Probably because that's my guess is he didn't want kids.
Nope.
Yeah, that'll explain it. And that's where you two weren't on the same page. And again, it's like
I didn't want kids either, but he made me have sex with him sometimes too.
Well, why didn't you just use protection?
He wouldn't let me go to the doctors.
Why didn't he use protection? All he had to do was go to the drugstore.
No, he didn't want to. He wanted me to get pregnant.
He wanted you to get
So I
pregnant,
could
but he
be
didn't want to
pregnant.
have kids.
Yeah, he didn't want to have kids with me, but he wanted to keep me bounded in the house. So I wouldn't go nowhere.
So the plan was, I'm going to get you pregnant, so you have to stay home and take care of the kids.
To be honest,
But
all
they're
my
your
kids,
kids, not mine.
they're all my kids, but he's not the father to none of them.
Right, and that's why did he ever ask to marry you?
No, he's married.
Okay, so he was married?
No, he's still married.
Like while he was living with you?
Hmm?
Okay, so in other words, he just wanted you...
They're separated, but they were married.
Okay, so I hate to put it this way, but it sounded like he was using you as a placeholder.
He was using me for my money, because when I got hit by a car, okay, when I turned 18, I get money. Okay, and they were setting it up for college years. Because me, my mom, and my brother, we all three got hit by a car. But my mom and my brother, they got less money, and they only had a knot on their head, and they were just dizzy and stuff. Me, because I don't know how to say it, but like, the front where the engine is? It was a drunk driver. The Station Square down,
On the south side?
the incline by the Station Square?
Yeah, I know real well.
Alright, that's where I got hit by a car. With me and my mom and my brother. And, they just hit them, but I got dragged. I was hit from the top of where the window is. I hit there, and then I dragged all the way underneath the front of the tires. He was dragging me through the tires, and he left me somewhere in the highway. When you start hitting up the ramp, you get to the highway. That's where I got left off at. And the buses, the people in the buses, they all ran to me and stopped and came to me. Because I was in the process of dying. And the paramedics came. They took me before they took my mom and my brother, because I was hurt really bad. And I had a broken arm, broken leg. I was in a full body cast. And they had it set up for me to go to college, to get my money from when I go to college. Because they asked me, of course I'm a kid, I'm going to say, yeah, I'm going to go to college, yeah, that's what kids say.
Well, yeah.
So, it was all set up for that. But I never went to college. But, so I had to wait like I was in college to get my money. That's how it was set up. Because I got more money than my family did. I got more out of it than they did. And he stole all my shit. So pretty much, I think that's what he used me for. And then later down the line, I did want to have kids, but none of my kids were never planned. None of my kids were. I never planned none of them. Hell, I didn't name none of my kids. I wasn't even allowed to name them. Even the ones that died, I couldn't name them. Ain't that some shit?
Yeah.
When I had names for them, oh, no, we can't use them. You do what I tell you. But yeah, pretty what you were saying.
Well, so the point that I was trying to make then is, so your relationship with your ex was one mess, but your relationship, on the other hand, with Elle
Was good
well,
in the beginning.
it's much more, well, what I was going to say, it's much more consistent with, or the challenges that you're having, the problems that you're having
Now,
in your relationship with Elle are much more typical of what someone with a borderline personality disorder is going to have.
yeah.
This fear of abandonment, always waiting for some other shoe to drop, just wanting way more out of it than what he wants. Well, I shouldn't say way more. It's more helpful to just say something very different
Okay.
than what he wants. But it's that whole clinginess, dependency, the sense of panic when you think he's not going to be there anymore. And the other thing about a borderline personality disorder, and I've talked to you about this, and you've noticed this yourself, that tendency to ask for more and more and more.
Yeah.
And being willing to let go a little bit Because you say, well, I learned my lesson. And like I always tell you, yeah, but then you just go right back at it. So
I don't mean to, but I do it.
right, you can't help but do it. Okay? So you're motivated because you say, well, I learned, you know, that I can go this far, but if I go that far, he's going to pull out, so I go back to that far, and instead of keeping it there,
I keep going back.
you just go back, and then you go back like this, and
Back and forth.
it's like a ping
It's
pong
up and
ball.
down, yeah, up and down.
So, and that's pretty characteristic of a borderline personality disorder. You're just not going to accept for the relationship for what it can be.
What he wants
You
to actually.
keep pushing it to where you need it to be, but what you need from him, and this is a recurring theme, what you need from him is something very different than what he wants.
Yeah. I just want someone to love me and care about me.
Well, we all do,
I never really had that.
but
I mean, because he did tell me he loved me as a friend, but I thought maybe he meant it more than a friend, but you know, I probably took it wrong. Or I wanted to take it wrong. I don't know which one.
well,
It just feels like he hates me now. That's how I feel.
but I think it's but see, the thing about the borderline personality disorder, now that Dr. Jerzak is going to make it official, and
Yeah.
we can talk about it as official, kind of. The borderline personality disorder, remember I keep saying this is very odd. This is a very odd relationship. This isn't normal. This isn't typical, yada, yada, yada. Okay.
Yeah.
So how do you explain it then? Well, this is what a borderline personality disorder person would do. Because, you know, you're not looking for, what you're looking for, okay, and this is what's challenging with borderlines, you know, for short, we'll just say borderlines. What's challenging for folks with a borderline disorder is a lot of this is more symbolic than for real. Okay, meaning symbolic in a sense of, well, you want this to feel like a super close relationship. It's not. You don't see each other. You don't spend physical time with each other. You know, you never have face-to-face time with each other. So,
Well, we
you
have
know,
face-to-face time, but I don't see his.
no.
He sees-
Face-to-face time in terms of like we're having face-to-face.
Oh, yeah,
I mean,
yeah, we don't
literally
have that.
face
I
to
want
face.
that, yeah, I don't.
Right.
But no.
But you don't have this kind of in-person time.
Yeah, I want
You know?
that, but no.
Right. You want it, but you don't have it. Yet he's still that important to you, even though, and because that's why it's failing to sink in that why all these other folks have said, Elizabeth, you know, you need to look for someone and you know, forget about him, let it go, yada yada yada. But that's the thing. It's symbolic. You know, it's like, yeah, but this is the closest I can come, and I'm not going to give this up. You know, because you know I had one chance with the father. I didn't get a second father. I had one chance with a mom because you don't get a second mom. You know, I thought I had a chance with my ex, but man, I finally got rid of him. But boom, I found someone else. So
I don't want to lose him.
right, yeah, I don't want to lose him because you know what kind of goes along with the fear of abandonment is this fear of once it's gone, it's gone. Like you don't get a second father. You know, now some people with a stepfather, but no, you didn't get a. But biological father that's a one and done deal.
Yep.
Biological mom, that's a one and done deal. And you know, and I think with Al, you've kind of attached to him the same level of desperation. It's a one and done deal. If it don't work with Al, I'm dead in the water. That's it. And the thing about abandonment is, and I explained to you about why fear of rejection is so intense, because back to caveman days, why people got kicked out of your tribe, it's a literal death sentence. That explains why, you know, that feeling is so intense, and because it's so intense, why it tends to override common sense. It's why smart people can do dumb things. You know, because a borderline personality disorder is there, and we'll go through the handouts more. We're not done with this. We're just getting started on it because this is, like I said, it's very complicated.
Yeah.
The fact that there's a lot you don't understand, that's to be expected. But this is a very complicated kind of a disorder with a lot. It's like an onion, you know. The more you peel away, the more layers you find.
Yeah.
So, but the bottom line with the borderline personality disorder, and because I'm doing social skills training, as it relates to forming relationships, you got to be very clear on one thing for today, and that is it's this need to develop this close relationship to substitute for what I didn't get from, you know, two parents who abandoned me. And abandonment is a very intense emotion. It's a very terrifying emotion, and you know, so L becomes this object more than a real person. He's this object to where, that's why I always say, don't put all your eggs in the L basket. But that's what borderlines do. You know, they target this one person, and that's it. And people who work with borderlines, I don't know if it's going to get in, I doubt that this is going to get into it very much. But when Dr. Jerzak talks about black and white thinking, she mentioned black and white thinking.
Yeah. I don't know what you mean by that, but...
Well, black and white thinking means, remember how I told you kids will say, oh, my mom hates me. Gee, Joey, why'd you say your mom hates you? Because she's mad at me.
I mean, she don't hate you. She's angry with you.
Yeah. Remember how I say kids have a hard time wrapping their heads around this concept that
Yeah.
someone can be mad at you but still love you?
Yeah.
Well, that's black and white thinking.
Okay.
Oh no, if they're mad at you, they hate you. If they're happy with you, they love you. That's black and white thinking. It's one way or another. There's no gray area in between. You know, there's what? How can someone be mad at you and still love you? That doesn't make sense. See, that's black and white thinking. That's very, kids think like that. But when it comes to these type of relationships, for borderline personality disorder, it's that same kind of black and white thinking.
Okay.
So that's like when it's really hard for you to really deep down trust that when Al goes in his timeout mode with me, meaning he puts me in timeout, which means he's taking time out from me, you know, where's that trust that he'll be back?
Yeah.
It ain't there. You know, I mean, you can tell me, yeah, you're right, George. He did this 6 times before. All 6 times he came back. Yeah, you're right. He'll probably do it again. Yeah, you're right. You're right. As soon as I'm out the door, I'm like, oh, what if he doesn't come back? Right? You're right back to that intense worry. Black and white thinking. If he's not here, that means he's not coming back.
Yeah.
He's only here when he's here. And if he's not here, that means he's not here. There's no, well, he's not here right now because he doesn't want to be here right now, but he will want to be here in the future. When he wants to be here, he'll come back, and he will want to come back, so he will come back. No. That's way too complicated. That black and white thinking doesn't allow that kind of gray area, that middle ground, that third possibility. There's only 2. Either loves me or he hates me. And if he's not here, that means he hates me.
And if he's here, he won't.
And if he's here, he loves me. So it's either good or it's bad.
So we're not bad.
Yeah, he's not here, that means it's right. He hates me, so it's bad. It's like, oh my God, don't you get it? He'll come back. No, okay, if you say so. But then that thought goes out the window.
Yep.
You don't believe that.
No.
And it's not because you're choosing not to believe it. Something in your gut tells you that fight or flight mechanism, that fear response gets triggered, that anxiety kicks in, and it's like there's no convincing you. I can't do it. Emily can't do it. Aubrey can't do it. Holly can't do it. Dr. Jerzak can't do it. The mailman can't do it.
Al tells me he'll be back as my friend, but I don't believe it until I see it.
He can't even tell you. No one can tell you, and not because you're stubborn, and not because you're being, you know, difficult. You know, your brain just isn't going to find comfort in trust. There's no such thing as trust with borderlines. It's a very desperate kind of a lifestyle when it comes to relationships.
Only time I believe Al when he tells me he's coming back to be my friend again is when
he does.
When he physically comes back to me and we be at a party chat and playing a game. That's when I believe it.
Right.
Until then, I can't believe it. He can say whatever he wants. I still don't believe it. Emily tells me, I'm pretty sure he'll probably come back to you. But, Emily's always like, yeah, he's going to leave you. This is going to happen. Watch. You be friends with him a couple months and he'll separate from you again. And he's going to do the exact same thing to you. And you're just going to be here all upset, crying, boo-hooing over him and stuff. You just need to move on. And that's when I tell people I don't want to move on.
Well, and it's important.
They think I don't want to do it, but it's not that.
And that's why it's a disorder. Because
it's not that I don't want to, it's just I can't.
Right. That's why it's a disorder.
That's what I tell someone.
That's like telling an alcoholic. That's why it's like, telling a guy who's been an alcoholic for 20 years, he needs to just quit drinking. Duh. If it was that simple, I would have done it.
I mean, it's hard. Now see, like maybe if I didn't know Al for like 6 years, okay, yeah, maybe. And if I wasn't too attached to him, maybe that would be easier. But no, like say with Beast Pro, I've been friends with him for almost the same amount of time probably, with almost near Al, but probably lesser, because I've been friends with Al longer than anyone. But me and Beast Pro, we've been friends for a couple of years too. But I don't have that same bond that I have with Al, with Beast Pro. Al and Beast Pro are best friends. But I knew Beast Pro on a different account. I didn't know this Beast Pro was the dude I was friends with on PS3. I thought he was just a random person. It was one of Al's friends. So, but then to find out, that's when Beast Pro told me who he originally was. So then I knew, so I'm like, okay, I've been friends with you for a while now then. I didn't know. But I could stop being friends with him. I could stop talking to him. I could say, fuck you, don't bother with me, and it won't hurt me like it does with Al. Because I got that physically bond with him. I don't know. Like I tell some of my friends, they're like, they don't understand it. When I tell them, they're like, no, it's easy to lose. You can stop being a friend. It ain't gonna be hard. But no, technically, it really is hard to stop being friends with him. I just can't stop like that. It's not an on and off switch. And it's not that I don't want to, it's just I can't. Like you said. But everybody doesn't understand it. I make people mad when I talk about it. And I don't mean to keep bringing him up.
Well, and
I told you that on Monday.
Yeah, and it's not that I don't want to speak for people, but you might, if you pay a little closer attention, it's not that people are mad as much as they're frustrated. And
they get annoyed when I talk about it.
Right, and that's what frustrated. Frustration is more than annoyed, or is more close to annoyed than I'm mad at you. Okay? People get frustrated because that's why it's called a disorder. Because someone without the disorder, to them it makes, why are you getting so bent out of shape over this? Why are you getting all freaked out over this? Look, this guy's gonna act goofy like this, and just find another friend. Forget about him. You don't need to put up with this.
Some people tell me that, yes.
Yeah, and because that's what they would do. Because they don't have a borderline personality disorder. And because they probably have done that in the past with someone, who they were in a relationship somewhat like this. That's how they would handle it, because that's probably how they've handled somewhat similar relationships in their own life, and they can't understand why you can't. Gee, I did it, why can't you? It's simple. Just tell them to bug off, tell them who needs you, tell them you're just a loser then, Al. I'll find someone else to hang out with. They don't have a borderline personality disorder, so they don't understand, how it's so different than you. It's like, yeah, I can walk into a bar, I can have a couple drinks, pay the bartender and leave, Why can't you do that? Well, because I'm alcoholic. Oh, that's bullcrap. That's just an excuse, just leave when you need to leave. It's easy for me to say because I'm not an alcoholic. I can have a drink or two and walk away, But an alcoholic can't. But if I wasn't sensitive to that, it's like, what a loser. I'm going to be frustrated with someone like that. Okay? And that's why, folks that like friends of yours or family, just tell them to get lost. Easy for them to say, and it was easy for them to do when they needed to with a certain person or people in their life, but That doesn't mean it's easy for you. In fact, it's very difficult. DBT, dialectic behavioral therapy, is what it stands for. But DBT for short is going to be coping skills training that's going to teach you how to better cope with those specific kind of feelings, particularly that deep and desperate anxiety you experience when you're feeling like, oh my God, the most important person in my life, the only important person in my life, has abandoned me for good, and I'm just going to like shrivel up and die now.
That's how I feel sometimes.
I know that, and I'm just saying I know, not so much because I know you, but because, you know, I listen when people talk to me. Mm-hmm. And I've worked with a lot of people with borderline personality disorder, and that's what I've heard over and over and over again from folks who describe it just like that. Remember what I said, if I hear from one person, oh, that's interesting. When I hear from two, there might be something to it. But when I hear this from dozens and dozens of people, of especially females with borderline personality disorders, it's like, well, this is more than a trend. This is a real, consistent characteristic of someone when they're struggling in a relationship due to carrying this borderline personality disorder. So that's what DBT is about. It's learning a very specific set of coping skills, because those are very specific feelings that most people don't have. Mm-hmm. That's very hard for the average person to relate to.
So people more like me would relate to it.
Yeah. If you join the support group for people with borderline personality disorders, I mean, they'd all be saying, yeah, man, me too. Instead of, what's the matter with you? Just break up with them already.
Yep. That's what my people told me.
Exactly.
Make a new friend.
Yeah, it's easy.
Oh, who cares? He does that. Someone who don't care about you. He likes to use you, blah, blah, blah.
Exactly.
Even my family. I sit there and try to talk to my family about it. Because my friends, they get mad at me, so I try to talk to my family about it. Because I want to talk to someone about it, besides always talking to you guys. You know, like you and Aubrey, Emily. You know, because sometimes I don't feel like this all the time. But sometimes, I never said it to you guys, but I feel, when I tell you guys how I feel about Al, you guys say what you want to say sometimes because that's how you guys get paid to say this. And, you know, or you guys come here to help me because it's your job. So you say what you want to say sometimes, or that's what you're supposed to say to me. But see, that's how I think. I'm not saying that's how you guys are, but that's how I think in my head. So I try to do it with my friends. They get mad at me. I keep constantly talking about it. I can never get out of my head. He's constantly there. But if it's anyone else, I could just forget about it, you know? It just easily, I could delete them and block them and don't want to be bothered with them. I could cuss them the fuck out. Like Al, when he does this stuff to me, like where he don't bother with me, where he doesn't want to play with me or talk to me or do anything, I get angry. I get frustrated at him, but I don't take my anger out on him. I take it out on me instead.
Right.
But with everyone else, when they make me mad, I take it out on them. I don't take it out on me. But I take my anger and frustration and how I feel without, I take it out on me only, and I won't take it out on him.
Right, because the person with borderline personality disorder is always going to be is always. But see, a person with borderline personality disorder is often going to be very afraid to attack that object. Okay, and I say object because, you know, what we'll talk more about next time is Al isn't so much who he is in real life, in reality, as much as who he represents to you.
Yeah.
Okay. So, you know, a lot of times, so that's not uncommon for you know, you have this object, this person who represents something way more than what he actually is. Okay. But, you know, there's this intense fear of attacking him. Rather, it's all turned inward in terms of I'm blowing it. I'm ruining it.
And then, like, when he separates from me, like how he does now, like, he doesn't talk to me sometimes, but he'll send me videos sometimes, or he'll say hi to me, or whatever, you know, whatever, or say something to me, or does a video with me once in a while. You know, like, he'll show me, like, when he's out working, like, he'll show me a video of him. He'll go live on Instagram, or, he'll call me on Instagram. Okay, like he used to go live on Facebook. I used to watch him on there. Okay, when we were friends on Facebook. But I mean, it's just like, all that I was happy about. But then when he doesn't do that stuff, I feel, okay, this is all my fault. I did something wrong. But no, I probably didn't, and it's just like Al doesn't want to be bothered with me for whatever reason, but I blame myself for it. It's all my fault. And then when I try to tell people that, everybody's like, oh, no, it's his fault, blah, 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 you know. But I played a role in some of it too. I know I did. I mean, I made some mistakes in this friendship, and I know I did. So, I mean, it's not, I'm saying it's all his fault, but I blame more like it's all my fault for what's going on with this friendship. Is that normal?
No.
No, not normal for actual people, but is it normal for me having the borderline thing?
Well, say that again. What?
Like,
Is what normal?
Okay, how Al used to do things to me, like how, you know, how we used to do, like we go live on Facebook, he'll go live on Facebook, you know, so I can see what he does, or whatever he does, okay, or like he calls me on Instagram once in a while, here and there, okay, you know, I'm just saying things, I'm not saying this is what's going on, I'm just saying what it, alright, like how he spends time with me all day long, every day on party chat, and we always do share play, we always play the games, and, you know, he sends me videos and all types of videos, okay, like he gives me all his attention whenever he's not busy, okay, but now he's not doing it. Like when he's mad at me, where he keeps himself away from me. But he comes a little bit back here, a little bit, give me a little bit of attention, and then he pulls away from me for a while. So I feel it's all my fault. But is that normal for me to think like that? Not as a normal person, but as a borderline personality disorder.
Well,
because I know it's not normal for a regular normal person.
see, that's where it can be a little tricky. Let me just finish typing this.
Like, I don't blame Al for any of this stuff. I blame myself.
Yeah, hang on a second.
Alright, I just wanted you to know, just so you know. And then I sit here and I plead and beg him just to try to be my friend again. I try to say, and everything that I say to him is real. It's not like I'm making shit up just to get him to be my friend again. The things that I do say to him is how I really feel about him as a friend. Like I told him on there, you know, I wrote something about, here, I don't know if I can read it. Let me see. Because I wrote it in Spanish, but let me see if I can translate it in English. Where is it? No, I got it here somewhere. No, that's not it. Okay, right here. Let me see if I can translate it. Alright, I said, dear best friend, I am very grateful that you have been my friend, and I pray to God that we remain friends for a long time. And I enjoy spending time with you and chatting and in the party with chats with you and PlayStation and watch the videos you send and how you make me laugh and happy and be happy. And I could, oh wait, shit. Wait, that went back in Spanish. Okay. And I could be very attached to you, but I will always love you as my best friend and not as a boyfriend. And I am very sad because I miss you so much and I miss you doing the things we do, but I will always be your best friend no matter what happens. Sorry for making you uncomfortable because of the things I told you. I really didn't want to upset you. That's like a desperate plea.
Yeah.
And I wrote that on my profile on Instagram. But I put it in Spanish, but people could see it in English too if they really wanted to. It's not like I'm physically giving it to him, but it's on my Instagram page. So if anytime he wants to go on my page, he'll see it.
Yeah, the thing about a borderline person, see, when you say, well, is it normal that, I never get mad at him, I only get mad at myself?
Yeah.
Well, and this is where I say this is really tricky. Because with borderline personality disorders, remember how I said, there's black and white thinking, love, hate?
Mm-hmm.
Well, with a lot of borderline personality disorders, the challenge is that they will blame the other person. They'll get mad at the other person. They'll get irate at the other person. They'll rage at the other person. And then they'll calm down and they say, well, I really didn't mean it. And, let's just let bygones be bygones. And then they'll just try to smooth things over. And after that, act like it never happened.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what you're talking about is more in line with that dependent personality disorder. Where the mindset is, the instinct is, I'm not going to yell at this person. That's too big of a risk to take to lose them. Mm-hmm. That borderline personality disorder, I've seen them go totally off on people. Like totally disregard. Or this person may, don't say that to him. He'll hate you for the rest of your life. I don't care. I hate him for the rest of his life.
I do that to everyone, but I can't do that to Al.
And that's where it's conflict, because see, that's more consistent with the dependent personality disorder. What you have to, because other people you're not invested in them, you can take them or leave them.
Mm-hmm.
Al means too much to you.
Yeah.
So it's that fear of, I can't flip out on him, I can't take that chance.
Can't take it out on me instead.
Yes. Because it's like I'm blowing it, I'm not managing this right, he's not cooperating, but it's not his fault, it's mine.
Yeah. Anyone else, I'll cut them out in a heartbeat, block them and delete them and never want to be bothered with them. Oh, I did it with Pete Pro. And he was one of my good friends. I ain't gonna say my best friend, but he was one of my good friends. But it's like, I just don't get it anymore. I don't know. Like sometimes I'll sit here, I'll look at him to see if he texts me back, but he doesn't. Not always. Sometimes he'll look at my stuff, he'll see that I'm texting him or whatever I sent him. He'll look at it, but sometimes he will respond to it, but sometimes he won't. He'll look at it and then he'll just won't reply back to me. So at least I know he's looking at it, but he just ain't responding back to me. It's like I need that attention from him.
Right. Because it's attention you never got as a kid. That's the important thing to understand. So, meaning, and what I mean by like the attention you never had as a kid is from the other person's perspective.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you're acting like a kid.
Yeah.
Because, well, you are. Because, well, it's a childlike need that wasn't met in childhood that you're trying to get met, but in adulthood, in a relationship with another adult.
Yeah.
Remember when I talked about childhood relationships, how kids act in relationships versus adults?
Yeah.
And if you don't make that transition from managing childhood relationships in terms of how adults expect relationships to be managed, you're going to struggle.
Yeah.
That's what you got here.
And plus, not all of my brain, but some parts of my brain do function like a kid.
Right.
Dr. Rosenblum diagnosed me with that.
Right. But the challenge that we're talking about now is, this relationship with Al, where it's the most important relationship of your life, but at the same time, it's also your single biggest source of stress and suffering in your life.
Oh, so do you think I have daddy issues?
Here you go.
I'm just asking.
Well, you asked me that before, and I said, well, it all depends on how you define that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that that's particularly
Oh shit, my bad.
helpful way to look
I
at
did the
things.
E. Is the E on there?
I'll tell you when to go.
Because I already did the E.
All right, first do the E,
Okay.
then do the W. Perfect.
EW. What did it stand for again? We were saying
The easy way.
easy way. There we go. I was trying to tell Emily and Aubrey, but I couldn't remember it.
Yeah, it stands for I do things the easy way. Here you go. Sorry for just tossing that.
Oh no, they're good. I don't mind. And they like threw it at me.
No, I came up short. There was no intent.
Alright. So that will never go away. About like you said about me and Al, the way I think,
Well,
or would that always stay like that with Al? I know it's not like that with other people.
okay, let me put it to you this way. If you do nothing, it's going to stay like that.
And what do you mean by do nothing?
If you do nothing, it'll stay like that. Compared to if you work with a DBT therapist and learn those specific coping skills, well, you'll still have those same reactions, you'll still have the same emotions, but you'll have a much better set of tools to manage them.
Okay.
So, will this always be an issue? Yeah. Is it always going to have to be this intense? Not if you learn how to cope with it. But, you can't use generic coping skills. You got to use, like, specific coping skills. And it's like, if you had, like me, when I had, like, shoulder impingement syndrome, well, I had to go to physical therapy. Why physical therapy? Well, you have to exercise that. Well, can't I just go to the gym and do it? Oh, no.
You need a specialist.
Exactly. And that's what DBT is. For borderline personality disorder, you need a specialist to teach you the right type of coping skills. Just like when I had the shoulder problem, I need to go to a physical therapist specialist to show me the specific exercises to do.
Yep, that's how I had to do with my knee when I got hit by a car.
Bingo.
I had to
That makes
learn how to
sense?
walk again, yep.
Yeah.
You had to learn how to reuse your arm again
Yeah, well, you have to build up.
to a certain point.
Yeah, to a certain point, but you have to build up muscles around the joint, and then they have to stretch the joint out and to help relieve the inflammation and medicine, yada, yada, yada. But 3 months later, boom.
Oh, you walked the
Good as new.
It took me a while with this.
Well, that was more serious.
I have a pin in my knee, that's why I can walk. If I didn't have a pin in my knee, I'd be proud.
Yeah, let's face it, man, my challenge was far less than yours.
I know.
Yeah, just saying.
Now your arm, do you have any metal stuff in your arm?
Metal stuff in my arm?
Yeah, like a pin or anything?
No, it was impingement syndrome. What that means is there was just a lot of serious inflammation in there, like severe
Like fluid
swelling.
stuff? Oh, okay.
Swelling.
Okay. Oh, my leg was broken, so then, yeah, that's two different things.
Two very different.
I was way off, my bad.
No, it's okay. I mean, no need to apologize for me. I mean, 3 months of PT. I mean, faithful, doing the right things.
I mean, it
Doing
kind
my
of,
home exercises. And the rehab guy says, yeah, you kind of got lucky with this. Could have been worse.
yeah,
I said, well, if I really would have, and I kept saying the same thing. Well, look, man, if I was luckier, I wouldn't have had it at all. So, but tell me how lucky I am. Luck means this doesn't happen.
Yep, not true.
All right. So, was today helpful?
Yeah.
Well, we've got a ways to go.
Yeah, because this is really difficult.
This is not a one and done kind of a lesson.
The person was kind of easy to understand. I'm pretty sure the anxiety probably will be too, but this right here, this is a difficult one.
Yeah, the anxiety one's actually more simple to understand, I think. It seems to be more simple language. But the borderline personality, the personality disorder one, well, because anxiety, well, everyone gets anxious sometimes. Everyone gets depressed sometimes. But borderline personality disorder, see, no, everyone doesn't feel that way. Everyone doesn't get like that. Everyone, I mean, yeah, when you break up with someone, yeah, it hurts for a while, and then you get over it. Borderline personality disorder, no, it doesn't work that way at all. I mean, in terms of degree of difficulty, not nearly that simple.
But I mean, with the borderline personality disorder, this will always be in my life, right? It will never go away. But it'll be manageable to deal with.
Yes and no. Because once you develop skills, okay, these skills kind of kick in to be more automatic.
Okay.
It's kind of like when someone quits smoking. Oh, when I first quit smoking, it was really hard, man. I kept getting urges, kept getting cravings. Well, that was a year ago. What about now? Yeah, I get cravings, but they don't last as long, not nearly as intense. So, and it's like someone I'm working with on anxiety. I'm teaching her stuff, and she's like, well, the things that used to make me really like nervous and scared and upset for like 3 or 4 days, I get over in like a half hour now. Well, what's different? It's like, well, I don't know. I just automatically, all these skills we were talking about, now they just automatically kick in. I don't have to think about it. It's just more of an instinct. I just do it. It goes away a lot faster, and I'm all good again.
Can I say one thing before you leave? Now, remember how I was telling you how I was having these good dreams about when I go to sleep, I have these good dreams? Well, now I have bad dreams.
Okay.
Where it scares me sometimes. Is that normal?
Well, I'm not going to say whether it's normal or abnormal, but I will say this. That could be the consequence of going off the antidepressant. It wasn't so much that, or the bad dreams abnormal. Well, that antidepressant...
I don't know what's causing it. That's what I'm asking.
Well, let me put it... I can't be sure either, but what I am more willing to say is, yeah, but that antidepressant might have been helping with that.
Okay. Now, I was having good dreams before, even before I started taking medicine, I was having good dreams. Because they were all about Al.
Well, but now your relationship with Al feels very threatened. And like I said, that's the problem with depression. Depression is going to affect how you think. So, the whole thing we were talking about in terms of this sense of desperation, oh my God, he's not talking to me, he's not going to talk to me. If you're depressed, those kind of thoughts on top of the borderline personality disorder are only going to be worse.
So it'll have fucked up dreams.
And it could, well, the dreams, like I said, the antidepressants, it may be more helpful to think in terms of, well, you know what, the antidepressants might have been what kept me from having the dreams. Now that I'm off the antidepressant, I mean, I could have been having these dreams all along.
No, but before I got on the medicine, I was having good dreams about Al.
I know, but then...
But now I'm having bad dreams.
But now you're having bad dreams because, I think you're more threatened with the prospect of losing him, and being off the antidepressant isn't helping.
Okay.
Okay. And the thing about dreams is, well, that could always change. I wouldn't get too freaked out about that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I'm just sitting here, I'm so tired. I get fearful just sitting here sometimes when I'm alone by myself. I get paranoid as hell. Oh, yeah. And then the back gets worse to do, though. That's what it's more.
You might have to
Do the whole thing.
I was going to say, you have to stand.
Because eventually that probably going to fall apart the front and the other side.
See, that's the thing though. I mean, looking at it, it's like, it doesn't look like it's a fall apart, but it looks like it's just, there's wood that was involved, it just rotted and fell away. And you don't know what's underneath, the aluminum pipe.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. All right, listen, I'll be back on Monday.
All right.
I think Monday. Do you have anyone else coming on Monday? What's Holly coming?
Monday morning.
All right, so hopefully in the afternoon.
Okay. Hey, are we able to start doing it 3 days again? Whenever you have chance? Not all the time, but whenever you have it.
Let me think about that. I'll talk to you about it on Monday.
All right, thank you. All right, bye, George. Thank you. All right, I'm gonna put this stuff away. Excuse me. What are you doing? I said, what are you doing? Oh, okay.